I wish I wasn't here.
Alright, so apparently Orange doesn't want to do this, but we're doing it anyways. So, do you remember a while ago when we made a video on the attic a little bit ago. We read some of chapter...
The channel that this is going on?
Yeah, on the attic, this channel. We read a little bit.
It's pretty good.
What chapter was it, John? Chapter 3?
I think it was chapter 4.
I think it was 3. I don't think we did 4. I think we saved 4. I think we did chapter 3.
Oh, that's already good.
No, it's not. We're predicting the future about 4 lifelong friends who compete to complete.
So as you can tell from the title, this is the most serious thing we've ever written. 100% seriousness.
Do not have.
Do not watch this unless you are 100% serious, boys.
John, do you want to be the narrator?
I like it.
Let me finish my Doritos.
Cool. I'm gonna mute Roy because he doesn't need to exist
Hey,
for me. Goodbye.
That's pretty good.
Cool.
Okay, are we ready?
I found some pretty good music.
Josh,
Oh, what's
are you
that?
ready?
Music?
Josh, could you stop looking at music for a moment and actually pay
Hold
attention?
on, it's
I'm not.
future fun.
I'm asking you to not pay it. To not.
We are recording now, Joshua.
Let me just get this last one.
No.
Yeah, I know you're.
And what's this?
I'm actually gonna do something real quick. So while Josh does that.
Okay, what were we talking about?
Sex.
Ah, I love it.
Dominic, he's
that's a
ready
problem.
now.
That might be an issue. That.
Wait, what? Hold on, who's pro?
That's not supposed to happen.
Dominic, what is your profile picture for Google? Is that what I think it is? Is that the man, the myth, the hippo?
I made that my profile picture a very long time ago. It's the hippo from FNAF.
Yes, that's why.
Who is adding things to a chapter title?
I was doing it on complete accident because I put my headset on my computer keyboard because I was moving rooms.
Wait, hold on.
Chapter 1 go. Okay, it's still there.
What is that picture? Hold up, I'm gonna zoom in, enhance. What is that picture?
Or you could just do this.
Do what? I have to zoom back out. Why is it still zooming out? Why? Oh boy.
I'm gonna start reading now.
Alright, fire away, John.
I thought you said Josh.
Jemily fanfic, part 1
Oh,
of
no.
10. Warning! Everything in this is serious. Anything in an asterisk is very serious. This is a fanfic. No, it's not. We're predicting the future about 4 lifelong friends who compete to competing in the competition. Chapter 1. Josh becomes Switzerland. Josh invited Emily to the H. This made a lot of people very happy and was widely regarded as a good move. This was the beginning of a good relationship.
What was
May
I supposed
12th, 2024.
Why is
The
it May
basement
12th?
house.
I thought it was November.
Josh walks up to Emily's room in gym shorts and a polo shirt.
Okay,
He
hold on,
knocks
real
on
quick.
her
Hold on, real
door,
quick.
car keys in hand, and asks,
Josh, could you say your line, please?
That is actually something I'd wear, though.
"Say your line."
Say your line.
What?
Say your
have a
line.
I refuse to read that.
Nope, you're literally you are legally
you
obligated.
You are in the call. You are legally obligated to
Read
speak.
the line.
Don't know how I feel about
Read the
this.
line, Josh.
Read the line.
I don't really think I should.
You should really read the line, Josh. Josh, you
What if I
really
read
should
it-
read this line.
What if I read it in a different language?
No,
No,
you have to read it in your
Yeah, Roy
language.
got me. If no one else got me, I know Roy got me. Can I get name in?
Imagine being able to hear Roy.
Josh, it is 10 words. Yo, same.
You know, it's fine.
Just
And then it gets to the end of the sentence.
Yeah, that's gonna be the opposite of how this fanfic goes. So just be prepared to read a lot of weird things in the first 2.5 chapters.
I would rather not.
You should be prepared to do
come
it.
on.
It's going to be read either way. It might as well come from you.
You
are listed as yourself in the credits. You have to.
I would.
You have to do it, my mans. It's
I would
gotta
rather
happen.
do it. I would rather do it when we after we finish Josh the Wiles 2.
No, do it now.
Do it now.
Read
We've
it.
already started.
We can. How long? We
We
doing
have
Josh
been
the Wiles
waiting
2
for
in a
2
month.
weeks to do this with you, Josh. And we are not waiting another 3 weeks. Would you rather do it in person?
Yes.
You would rather read this in person.
I would. Yes, because I would be at John's house.
To the person in question, mind you.
That'd actually be pretty funny.
That would be really funny.
It would be pretty funny.
That makes 0 sense. Why?
I make 0 sense.
Josh,
this should be common
Josh,
knowledge.
just read the freaking line.
He knocks on her door, car keys in hand, and asks, "Hey, are you ready to go on our second date?" See, that wasn't so hard, was it?
Yes, it was.
No, it was the opposite of hard. Josh, if you read this line, you should read it.
He already read it. Let's continue.
You're going to read the next line. Not Emily's, your next line. No matter what it says, you are going to read every line thereafter.
I just read through the first page.
It gets worse.
I'm having second thoughts.
Too late.
Duality of man, it gets worse. It gets better.
It does get better, but first it gets worse.
Life be like.
One second.
Dominic, you have a line.
All right,
now.
I do have a line. Yeah, just let me get language. Yeah, just let me finish getting changed.
Emily replies back. After a few more minutes of waiting, Josh sees Emily walking out of her room wearing the most beautiful dress he'd ever seen. It's big and red with thick black lines going throughout. Josh stares at Emily for a few seconds before he can get a single word out.
I love.
Eventually,
hold on.
he manages to say.
Can I just say how much I enjoy? Like, I was worried for a moment that reading this is gonna sound like super awful, and then I made John the narrator, and his voice is fantastic for this. I love it. It's really
Tonight,
really good.
we are going to one of the most haunted places in America.
Number 15,
What kind of
the Boo Boo Bandit.
Number 15, the Boo Boo Bandit. Am I just Josh now?
Well, considering Josh doesn't exist, at the moment, I think it's fine for us to continue reading.
Eventually, he manages to say, "Wow, you're beautiful."
Just like you. Do
Emily
I want to?
says,
I was like, do I want to continue the rest of that line?
face.
Are we ready to go now?
She says as Josh takes her hand.
She doesn't ask. She states, "Are we ready?
Are we
to
ready
go?
to go now?" Yeah, let's go, Josh says, and they begin to walk toward the door.
Where were we planning on going again? Emily asks.
Emily asks, "Old Chicago, you said you hadn't been there before and wanted to go." Josh says, unlocking his car and entering the driver's seat.
John, we didn't ask Emily if
drive.
she had been to Old Chicago before.
That doesn't matter. After a short drive, they arrive. "Well, we're here."
Hey, that
Josh
rhymed.
smiles. They enter the restaurant and they take their seats. A waiter walks up to them.
What
Orange,
would you like?
be the waiter.
Okay, Orange. Orange, are you gonna exit? Or it's just us two, Ronan.
Okay.
Cool, I'll do this. What would you like?
He asks. "I'll take the beer burger," Josh says.
And I'll take the today's special.
Emily says.
All right, that'll be with you shortly. After.
Look how we put that in. About 20 minutes later, the food comes. They eat and discuss future plans. After an hour, they finish up and take a walk to the nearby park. A little ways into the walk, while on the bridge, Josh stops Emily, looks into her eyes, and says, I really enjoy spending this time with you. You make me smile like no one else has before, and I could never see myself with someone better than you. Emily blushes and looks away for a second before she looks up at him, a cute smile across her face.
And I love the way you make me feel whenever you're with me. You're a very caring guy, and you make me feel loved more than anyone else. I can't imagine me with anyone else. It's the
Emily
same
responds, moving closer to Josh. They both stand there, staring into each other's eyes, unsure of what to do, before Josh begins moving his face closer to Emily. He closes his eyes before Emily begins to do the same. Their lips meet as they kiss, standing in each other's arms. It's a truly exhilarating experience. He melts into her embrace as their lips part. That felt perfect, Josh says as he looks down into down?
Well,
This
yes,
implies that he well,
he's taller
okay,
than
if-
her. That's why I said down. There was a reason for that.
Okay.
Although that does
Emily-
imply that he was looking above her at the start of this all, which is kind of strange.
He's just looking up at the sky the whole time.
That doesn't make any sort of sense
Emily
biologically.
giggles for a moment before kissing him briefly. We should probably be heading home now, Josh says, reluctantly beginning to let go of Emily.
Yeah, we should.
Emily says, letting go of Josh. As they walk towards the car, Emily grabs Josh's hand. They get in Josh's car, and during the ride back to the basement house, Emily looks over at Josh, says,
Josh.
yeah. I like how you didn't use he or she, you just used their name every time.
Every single time. Can I sleep in your bed tonight?
Josh is silent for a moment before saying, sure.
The voice. Thank you.
Emily responds, a smile on her face as she looks back at the road. Eventually, they arrive home, and Emily and Josh go to their rooms to change. After Josh is finished getting changed, he hears a knock on his door and says, come in. Dominic opens the door and closes it behind him, leaning against it.
So how'd it go?
Dominic asks, pretty good. We went to Old Chicago and had a nice chat over dinner, and then went on a walk. Josh responds,
Nice, that sounds romantic. Did anything major happen?
Dominic says, well, we ended up kissing at the end of the walk. Josh answers.
Oh, hell yeah, man, let's go. Man.
Dominic says, walking over to Josh and raising his hand. Josh gives a solid clap, and Dominic sits next to Josh on his bed.
Oh, is that my line?
Yes.
That is. Took a lot longer than I had thought way back when I first helped you, but I'm glad it happened. Did all this work bring you together at the start? It's finally paying off. Good job, man. You done some good work.
Dominic says as he looks at Josh, I wouldn't even be here if it weren't for you starting it all. Josh replies,
Okay, I'm back.
This
Too
is
late,
true,
we are
but you
reading.
did- Nope, he can continue just where you left off. That's fine. That is
well, I
true.
want to
Where?
keep going.
That's fine. We're down to
Beef burger.
the top of page 4.
Top of beef. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, you should feel thankful. You kind of skipped like a part that you definitely wouldn't have wanted to read. So, you're welcome.
I
that is-
just read that part, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Okay, continue.
But you did the rest.
Action! Action!
Why
That is true.
change
But you did the rest.
so much?
Give yourself some credit.
Dominic says, putting a hand on Josh's shoulder.
Anyway, I'll let you get your rest. Again, good job. Have a good night.
Dominic says as he stands up and walks out of the room, only to see Emily walking to Josh's room. Dominic closes the door and looks at her, saying,
Hey, Emily, how's it going? Oh, hey, Dom, it's going pretty good. I just got back from my date with Josh. Yeah, just talked
I
to him
hate
about
this.
it. He said you guys kissed? Yeah, we did. It felt great. Well, I'm glad. It's amazing to see you two grow close together. Such a difference from when we first met. I love it. But I'll let you go
I love it.
talk with him.
I hate
I'll talk
this.
with him or whatever. You were planning Good night, Emily. Okay, good night,
I'm
Dom.
gonna go play Persona.
Dominic walks back to his room. After a few minutes, Emily knocks on Josh's door.
Josh,
Hello,
nope,
says
Josh,
while inside
Josh,
his
you're
room.
lying. Josh, you're lying.
I'm gonna go play
No.
Persona 3. This is terrible.
God, you suck.
I know.
Hey, it's Emily. Can I come in?
Emily says, putting her hand on the handle. Yeah, you can come in, Josh says. Emily walks into Josh's room as Josh sits at his computer playing Fallout New Vegas with a nude mod. Emily closes the
God,
door.
we had that set.
Why did you have to be so accurate?
Because we did. What the heck?
Emily says, nothing, Josh says, quickly turning off his computer.
Oh.
I like how assertive she sounds in this one line.
I'm sure it was nothing. Just get in bed. Get it in bed.
Emily says, walking further into the room. Josh gets into his bed as Emily slides in next to him. Emily and Josh both blush since this is their
Blush?
first time sleeping. I can read.
I have just returned.
Since
in
this
the
is the
worst
shut up! I'm reading!
This is pain.
Since this is their
I
first time
know.
sleeping in a bed together, Emily
Ian.
begins moving closer to Josh. Josh not having any romantic knowledge whatsoever. Josh curls. Wait. Oh, that's the end of the sentence. Okay. Josh not. Wait.
You guys are just too close to home right now. Okay, that line does not
Josh
have
not
any
having any
business being
romantic
in
knowledge
there.
whatsoever. Josh curls up into a ball and Emily takes him into her arms. They soon start to sleep. Chapter 2. Allegedly.
All right, I'm gonna be the
So
narrator
accurate
now.
with my
We're
reaction
gonna
there,
switch
alright? That was
narrator
kind
every
of
chapter.
mean, I'm gonna say.
Josh, shut up.
We're
No.
changing chapter or narrator every chapter, so I'm the narrator
Okay.
now.
What is this?
So does that mean I'm Emily now?
Yep.
Woohoo!
Which means I'm Josh. Sure. A few hours later, Josh wakes up.
Oh,
Huh? He asks, noticing he is all alone. Oh, it was just a dream. Josh starts to get sad. About a minute later, Emily walks into the room.
What are you doing?
She asks, what? Josh replies, confused. I thought that was a dream.
Oh, well, this muffin is looking awfully like a hamster. Someone baked a hamster into my muffin.
Emily
Josh,
says,
shut up. That was
showing...
my line.
I don't care.
Emily
I
says,
read it
showing
anyway.
Josh the muffin in her hand. Yeah, I guess it kinda does, Josh says, looking at it briefly, trying to remember details last night. John then...
Switch to Comic Sans.
You haven't been
Because
paying attention. You haven't been paying attention, clearly. John then pokes his head into the room. I didn't order...
I didn't order ravioli. I am
Oh
me,
my
Dominic.
God.
Yes, you are. He says. Emily and Josh start laughing, and John exits the room, laughing as well.
Oh my gosh.
That was random.
Emily
I'm gonna have
says
to
as they
commit a
finish
crime.
laughing.
Come on down. I guess I'm voice cracking now. Come downstairs. I made breakfast for you.
Oh, thanks,
Bravo.
Emily, Josh says, standing up and following Emily out of the room. They
Why
exit
do
and
you
walk
be so
downstairs.
matter of fact about the narrator voice? Like,
Seeing Dominic,
Wait,
Orange, and
Dominic.
John...
No,
I'm
you're still
listening.
you. Never mind.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Seeing Dominic, Orange, and John sitting down on the couch watching Good Mythical Morning.
crap. I didn't
Damn,
save.
why did I not start watching this sooner? Dominic asks.
Click to enable Adobe Flash.
John says in response, causing a roar of laughter from everyone.
Josh, you can be orange.
I don't think I will.
I think you should be Orange.
I refuse.
It has
Okay.
the funny word.
Orange, where are
Let
you?
Roy be orange.
Orange left the call.
Oh, that's pretty boring. Who's gonna say
Roy,
Orange
be
is
orange.
wide?
He
I
already
need to
said no.
unmute Roy.
I forgot Roy was here, honestly.
He already
until-
said nah.
That's cringe. Gonna mute him again then.
John, I guess I'll be orange too.
Yo, me and Roy,
Why the
bro.
fuck did you say that?
Because it was funny.
Ooh.
Wait, that's
No.
your line. Nope, your turn.
No, I'm gonna say that again. John, why the fuck did you say that?
Hold up, what? I gotta turn them
Dominic, there's
down.
narration
Orange asks.
Okay, Roy, what did you say?
because it was funny.
John replies.
Fair enough.
Orange responds.
Only if I can screen
Oh,
share
yeah.
my game.
Jen walks out of her bedroom and into the living room
Alright.
saying, "Hello."
I turned
already
on my
said it.
video. I'm an idiot.
I'm gonna mute Josh at this
Why?
point.
Yes. Can you
I'm
go
kind
to
of- I'm a
separate
kind of
call or
stupid.
something?
Yup.
I'm sorry, what was that, John?
Why did you have to say it that way?
Orange asks. Oh, that's
I'm
me.
playing the funny. Yeah. Yeah,
Why did
I'm
I
not gonna
put
lie,
this
though,
line in
music,
there?
Now
pretty
I
good.
just have you and me on my end, Dominic.
This is
Alright,
3.
well, I'm gonna go mute Josh then. Cool. Goodbye.
It
They're
was
gonna
a
probably
valiant
move in.
effort.
Yeah, oh well. I love
We're
it.
still reading the whole thing.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love it. My father said that every time he got on Xbox with my uncle, Dominic says. Jen laughs as she sits in the chair next to the couch. Oh, that's me. Hey all, Josh here, Josh says, walking into the kitchen.
Oh
Oh
shit.
shit,
It's like
that's
a
like a
joke.
joke. John, Dominic, John, Jen, and Orange all say at the same time. Yeah, Josh responds.
Half amused.
Thank you. Emily chuckles before giving Josh his plate of eggs and bacon with a side of biscuits and gravy, topped with sausage links and one piece of French toast.
Bro, we eating at IHOP today, boys.
Thank you, Emily. You didn't have to make this for me. Did you do it by yourself, just for me? He asked, confused as to why he was given so much food.
Well, yes, Red. I think I would like 2 waffles.
John says, cutting off Josh. So if Red gets 2 waffles, and I get 2 waffles, that still leaves 8 waffles for you. Dominic responds, holding back laughter.
I don't want 88 waffles. I want 12. I want 12 of them. They're mine. I got them from the freezer and I put them on my plate.
John says, slightly finishing the quote because Dominic didn't want to
Slightly?
write the whole thing.
Oh, sure.
John, shut up. I'm talking, Josh says, looking at John from over the island as John and Dominic start laughing again. Oh my god, it's Roy's line.
Who's gonna be Roy?
I don't know.
I'll do it. He only has
Okay.
like 3 lines,
He has 2.
Like in the whole fanfic.
I think he has 2.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Continue.
No, that's you.
Oh yeah, I'm Emily.
Why did
Well,
we
to answer
randomly
your
switch characters?
Because you switched to the narrator and you were Emily before.
Yeah, I know.
Well, to answer your question, no, it wasn't just for you. Me and Dominic made breakfast for everyone. I just made this plate for you.
Emily responds, walking to the dinner table with dining table, not dinner, dining table with Josh. Suddenly, Roy's bedroom door slams open.
010011110101001001001. I'm not reading all of that. Binary.
Can I read all of it?
No.
Oh, okay. Why did my headphones have to unplug? Cool.
Yeah.
He says, absolutely yelling.
No.
No. No.
No.
No.
No.
No. No.
Okay, continue.
We all say
Oh.
at different times, creating a demonic noise for half a second.
More binary.
Roy says, closing his door. Just imagine more binary coming out of Roy's mouth as he closes his door.
No, could he just stands in his doorway. More binary. Slam.
John presses the easy button because that was easy. Josh and Emily sit down at the dining room table. Josh eats breakfast.
Can I sleep in your room again? That was fun.
Emily whispers to Josh. Slash whisper, I make shoes. Yeah, Josh says in reply. Emily smiles in response, kissing Josh on the cheek before resting her head on his shoulder. The gang that is sitting on the couch look over at them, then at the other, then back at them.
Hey, PDA.
Orange says the 4 of them start chuckling as Josh looks over with a glare. Shut the fuck up. Josh
Chapter
says,
3,
Number
number 7.
Emily smiles even wider as she grabs hold of Josh's arm. The next few days go on mostly normally, although Josh is still not used to getting this much affection from Emily. Her random kisses when they...
I love pee Johnny in the hallway.
Did we do that originally?
No,
I don't remember
that
doing
was
that.
not done on purpose.
Okay. Her random kisses when they put John in the hallway, or her seductive smile, it's all foreign to him. After dinner one day, Emily watches Josh walk upstairs and into his bedroom.
My turn. I should go see if Josh wants to do something with me tonight. I've been really liking this affection I've been showing him.
Emily thinks to herself while she sits on the couch next to Orange. She looks up at Orange for a moment, and Orange says,
Ma'am, you're holding up the line. I don't know why I'm orange now. Yes.
Emily responds as she stands up and walks upstairs, leaving Orange completely clueless. She walks up to Josh's bedroom.
Should I actually do this? Yes. I've stopped being shy around him. I can ask him if he wants to do anything.
Emily thinks to herself before knocking on the door. Yes! That's still me. She hears Josh shout.
Hey, baby, can I come in?
Emily asks, yeah, you're fine. Josh responds. Emily opens the door to see Josh sitting at his desk playing Half-Life. She walks up to Josh and sits across from him on his bed.
Do you want to, I don't know, do anything?
She asks shyly. Not right now, I'm playing Half-Life. Josh responds.
I guess that makes sense, but after you're done, maybe?
Emily asks, putting her fingers together as she looks at Josh. Josh looks at her, slightly confused, before saying, sure, I'll come get you when you're done.
When you're done.
Whatever.
Alright, I'll pick you up then, son.
Emily says, giggling. Then she gets up and kisses Josh before leaving. Josh stares blankly at the door, wondering what she meant by that. He shakes it off and returns to playing Half-Life. Meanwhile, Emily walks back to her room, a little disheartened that Josh didn't want to spend time with her. After the last few nights, you'd think his actions would be a little different. She enters her room and sighs as she closes the door.
Surely he isn't brushing me off.
She thinks to herself,
This is something that he's wanted for years. He wouldn't just ignore me like that after it's finally come to fruition.
She sits on her bed and stares at the wall.
What should I do? I don't want to go back and try again. That would seem too pushy. But I don't want to just sit here and do nothing either.
She puts her head in her hands. This is troubling her much more than it should. Emily sits up and looks around her room.
There's nothing to do here. Maybe I could just go play with something on my computer while I wait
Yeah!
for Josh. Yeah, I can do that. If Josh can play games, so can I.
Emily says to herself before confidently walking to her computer and sitting down. She looks at the black screen, staring at herself. She thinks about those past few days and how much how much fun she's had with Josh.
No, I'm not just going to sit here and wait for him. I don't care if it looks like I'm being clingy. Maybe I just am clingy. I'm going up to his bedroom and I'm staying there until he gives me the time of day.
The time of day.
Emily
says out loud to her.
Hold on.
Okay.
Can I just say how much I love how dead accurate we got Josh, and we have the complete reversal of what Emily would actually be doing.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so good.
Emily says out loud to herself before quickly standing up, walking out of her room, and going to Josh's bedroom. Without knocking, she opens Josh's door somewhat forcefully, surprising Josh, who jumps from his seat a bit. Jesus, what the was? I'm not sure I can say the word now because my parents are upstairs now.
Poggers.
What was that for? He asks, still shaken from the door opening.
Sorry, I was just feeling lonely, and I wanted to be with you.
I love the shot that this has in my mind. You know, she just like busts the door open full force, and then in the most timid voice, "Sorry, I was just feeling lonely and I wanted to be with you." Emily says, her body calming down from the adrenaline she just felt. She lowers her posture a bit and closes the door slowly. Oh, well, if you really wanted to do something, I can stop this now. It didn't seem like you really wanted to do anything, and you had just wanted to be nice. What if we just go on a walk around the neighborhood? Josh asks, turning off his computer.
Sure, I'd love that.
Emily says excitedly. She runs up to grab Josh. Wait, she runs up to she runs up to grab Josh.
His
She
hand.
runs up to Josh, grabs his hand, and pulls him out of his room. This font is so hard to read. They run downstairs and to the front door, surprising Orange and John, who were both now sitting on the couch. They open the door, walk out, and slam it shut. Orange and John look at each other, smile, and go back to watching NCIS Season 21. Once outside, Emily slows down and catches her breath for a moment before looking at Josh and smiling.
That's you.
Hey, I wanted to apologize for tonight. I kind of blew you off and I didn't want to, Josh says to Emily.
I'm glad you apologized, and I'm glad you decided to come walk with me.
I like how that's just like the most 50s sitcom ending ever. Emily says with a smile, holding Josh's hand harder before continuing to walk for one sentence.
Is that my line?
I'm not sure.
Where does it
Yeah,
end?
it is.
I don't know where this slide ends. Maybe I'm going too far. I don't want Josh to think that I'm being clingy, but I don't want language. But I want to make sure he knows I do care about him. I think I'm doing too much. Maybe I'll just relax my grip on him.
As Emily is about to slightly let go of Josh to not seem as clingy, Josh squeezes her hand. She looks at Josh slightly surprised by his reaction before smiling and continuing the walk. The walk continues for a long time. While nothing is said, the only
Before
source of
continuing
conversation
the walk,
between the two
the
of them
walk
is
continues.
between their hands. Wait, the only source of conversation between the two of them is between their hands. What does that mean?
Well, I would describe it, but that ruins the joke.
Okay,
I'll
and
tell
that's
you,
all
if we
they
remember
need.
it, I'll tell you after recording.
Okay. Eventually, they find their way back to the basement house and stand outside the door. Am I able to sleep in your
That's
bed
my
tonight?
line.
I don't care! I got into it.
Okay, just continue, I guess.
Okay. Oh, we still have so much
We
to
have
do, dude.
so much, but at least a lot of it is like jokes, which
Yeah,
actually might make it
okay,
worse because we're just laughing.
read.
Am I able to sleep in your bed tonight? I don't want to let go of you yet.
Emily says before walking inside. Yeah, that's fine. Josh says, smiling before walking inside. Emily still holding his hand.
I see you both got back safe. It's only been an hour.
I'm gonna try to do this without breathing.
Oh boy, I don't know why.
Shut up, Dom, Josh says in response, a chuckle coming from Dominic. Emily finally lets go of Josh's hand to go to her room and get changed. Josh walks to the kitchen and get water, and Dominic says,
Seriously though, you guys were gone for a while. Did it go that well?
I think so, yeah.
Well, that's good. What'd you guys talk about?
Dominic asks, nothing, not a word escaped either of our lips during the entire walk. We just walked, it was really nice, Josh said, finishing his drink and getting ready to head to his bedroom.
Huh. Well, I'm glad things are going well for you, man. Took a while, but it's nice to see you two this close. I literally said that last time I
Dominic
talked.
says, returning to the TV show he was watching. Josh walks upstairs to his bedroom and closes the door. Wow, that walk was wonderful. Nothing crazy happened, but it was just nice to share that time with her. And she's wanted to. I can't read English anymore, and she's wanted to sleep with me for the second time since our second date. Things are going way better than they should be. Josh thinks to himself as he finishes getting changed. Please enter the code.
I forgot we
Maybe
added
next
this.
Maybe next time I should. Josh's inner conversation is interrupted by a knocking at his door, followed by followed by Emily saying,
Hey, Joshy, can I come in?
"Yes, you can come in." He responds, sitting on his bed. Emily enters the room, closing the door behind her.
That's you.
Oh, that's still me. I wanted to thank you for the walk. I really enjoyed spending that time with you, Josh says, as Emily sits down next to him.
Of course, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I really did as well.
Emily says, hugging Josh, well, what shall we do now?
We could go to sleep, or we could just talk for a while.
Emily says, I'm pretty tired from the walk, but we can talk while we lay down, Josh says, moving to get into bed. Emily follows suit, saying,
All right.
Both of them lay in bed and begin talking about different things, ranging from things that have happened in the past to the basement. Eventually, Emily asks,
Josh, do you think...
Click to enable Adobe Flash, John says loudly from his bedroom, interrupting Emily.
Shut the up,
shut-
John.
That's me.
Oh.
Shut the up, John, Josh says. You were saying...
It's nothing. It was a stupid thing to ask anyways.
Emily says, lowering her head onto the pillow. No, it's fine. Go ahead and ask me. I won't get offended, Josh says reassuringly.
I was just going to ask if you think I'm being too clingy or over affectionate.
Emily says quietly, too clingy. What? Too clingy? No, not at all. I love that you're showing so much affection. I'm not used to it, but it still feels good, Josh says, moving Emily's head up to look at his smiling. Emily smiles back, and Josh moves in to kiss Emily. She moves forward. She moves toward him, and they meet in the middle of the bed, sharing a calm kiss with each other. Attention, Walmart shoppers, we are having a sale today, John says. Shut up, Josh yells. Can I be the narrator for this one, too?
Nope. I noticed in the middle of chapter 3, I'm like, I'm going to be able to do this one. Yes.
No.
Sorry. How about you could do the part after Hagrid.
Okay.
That's the turning point. Emily
Okay.
and Josh walking past the sliding doors, hand in hand, entering Walmart. Let's go to the deli and obtain our popcorn chicken, Josh says, confidently strutting forward.
Yes, let's go do that.
Emily responds, walking behind Josh while still holding his hand. They make it to the deli. Look at the cashier at the deli. We would like 1 popcorn chicken, please, Josh says to John, the cashier.
That I can do for you. Let me just...
John says as he grabs a scoop of popcorn chicken out of the popcorn bucket. After the popcorn chicken bucket. And here you go. That's your line.
And here you go.
Thank you, John. How much is that going to cost? Josh asks.
Let's see, that'll be attention Walmart shoppers. We are having a sale on popcorn chicken today. Every piece of popcorn chicken will be half off today and today only. Thank you.
John says over the intercom.
Well, it seems like your order is not $19.99, it is now $9.99.
John says to Josh. Well, I'll be darned. Here is $9.99 exactly. Josh says, giving John $9.99 exactly.
Thank you, sir. Here is your popcorn chicken.
John says, giving Josh the bowl of popcorn chicken. Josh and Emily walk away from the deli and bump into Orange.
Oh, sorry about that.
Hagrid says, lifting up the door.
Yeah, fuck you.
Your turn. You get the Hagrid.
Oh, Orange says, walking away. Just ignore them, it's fine, Josh says to Emily, pulling her away. This causes them to bump into Orange. I'm really sorry, Professor McGonagall, I didn't mean to, Josh says. Silence! I do not want you rambling! Just carry on with your day! Orange says, walking away.
Oh, hey, that's my line. Just ignore
Yeah.
them. It's fine.
Emily says to Josh, pulling him away. This causes them to fall into the doors behind customer service. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Orange says over the intercom. Are you okay? Josh says, standing up to help Emily.
Yeah, I'm okay. Just disoriented.
Emily says, using Josh to stand up. Hey, guys, look, we found the real Slim Shadys. John says, watching Josh and Emily stand up. Hey, everyone, it's the real Slim Shadys, John says to all of the other Johns in the Walmart. The Johns begin to crowd around the Josh and Emily.
The Josh and Emily. Josh, help me.
Emily shouts as she's pulled away by the crowd of John. Emily! Josh shouts, trying to push through the Johns, and then they realize they are in the carriage at the beginning of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Hey, you're finally awake. It says Ray Lawn, it's me!
I know, but like, whatever.
Ray Lawn says, looking at the two of them. Josh shoots up in bed in a cold sweat. His room is dark, and the clock says it's 3:29 a.m. He looks over at Emily, who's slowly waking up from Josh. Good, that was just a dream. Josh thinks to himself while smiling at Emily. That was a very odd dream.
Josh?
Emily asks, her eyes still closed as she wakes up. Shh, it's okay, Emily. Just go back to sleep. Josh says, laying back down.
Now you get to read the first half of this chapter until 7-Eleven because law of equivalent exchange.
Is that half?
I don't care.
Okay. Josh and Emily soon fade out of existence casually. They appear in a white room that seems infinite. Two men stand opposite of Emily and Josh, and both say, "Welcome to the simulation.
I probably
Click
should have
to
said that
enable
with you.
Adobe Flash." Okay, Josh says he effing dies.
What the frickety frack hacky sack?
Emily asks, That was a test. The two men's. Can I do it, please?
No, we're both doing it. It's two men.
Okay.
We're both doing it.
Okay. Start from that line. That was a test. The two men look at Emily. Adobe Flash was discontinued on December 31st, 2020.
But
Emily asks, but it is too late. The men have disappeared. Emily stands up confused. Hey, what's up? John asks behind Emily.
Wait, why is it John?
Because that's how it goes.
Okay, that makes the rest of this make not a lot of sense.
Wait, why did you change it to Josh?
Possibly.
Because it was originally me.
I didn't know that.
Hey, what's up? Josh asks behind Emily.
Thank you. What the hell are you doing here?
Emily asks. Oh, I was just getting some 7-Eleven. Josh says, pointing to the 7-Eleven that's down the street. Your turn. Wait, how did we...
I know that. Oh, okay, fair enough. Emily looks around, realizing that they aren't in the White Room anymore, but are now in the middle of Colorado Springs. You seem confused. Are you okay? Josh asks.
Yes, I'm fine. Let's just go home.
Emily says, beginning to walk to the basement house. Alright, fine with me. Josh says, walking with Emily to the basement house. During the walk, Emily noticed things that aren't normally there. Where there was once an Aeonic, there is now a Walmart. And where once there was an Arby's, there is now a Sam's Club.
Why are things so different?
Emily asks Josh as they enter the basement house. I don't know what you mean. Maybe you're just tired. You should get some rest. Josh says, walking up with Emily to his bedroom.
Alright, maybe you're right. I could use some rest.
Emily says, opening the door to Josh's room. Before her is a sight unimaginable to most, as she stands in shock. As before her is Josh and Emily laying on his bed, fast asleep. John is dead. This is so sad. I don't know if I continue the rest of this or not without him. Oh,
I had to deafen because my mom asked me something.
cool.
Okay, we were at the funny, right?
Yep, laying on his bed, fast asleep.
Mom, wait, no, that's you.
Oh, it is me. Mom spaghetti, Josh says from behind her.
I'm beginning to feel so much like a rap god that I have gotten an infection in my ear that I can't figure out. It's made me so discombobulated that I have become tone deaf. I cannot remember what my name is or why Dre is locked in my basement. All I know is that I am the real Slim Shady.
John shouts as he flosses over them, crooked in midair.
Do you know how humiliating it is to have a son?
Emily asks. I am your son, Josh says. Then home, sweet home, Alabama. What?
I don't
Starts
know.
playing over a boombox. Emily wakes up in a similar fashion to Josh, shooting up in Josh's bed in a cold sweat. The clock says 11:39 a.m.
Was that all just a dream?
Emily asks
What?
herself. She looked over at Josh, who's staring at her, concerned. Hey, are you alright? Josh says, slitting up slightly. As we sit here waiting for John to come back.
She came back, and but he came back. Or we had no, not really.
Yeah.
No, not really. I just had a really odd dream.
Hey, me too. What happened? Josh asks. Orange then turns on the intercom saying,
Can I get a waffle? Can I please get a waffle?
3, 2, 1. Shut the up, or the entire basement says in unison.
Perhaps.
Orange replies. Anyway, what happened in your dream? Josh asks, sitting up fully.
Well, we started in this white room, and these two guys in suits made you disappear. But then you reappeared behind me, and we teleported to the 7-Eleven by the basement house. We walked back home and went into your bedroom, but we were there sleeping, and John was floating above us that were sleeping. It was a very odd dream.
Emily says, Huh, that is odd. I also had an odd dream. Josh says,
Oh, please explain!
Emily says, pulling her legs in to sit easier on Josh's bed. Well, we went to a Walmart to get popcorn chicken, but every customer was Orange and every staff member was John. We got the popcorn chicken, but afterwards we kept bumping into different oranges. Eventually, we somehow fell into the customer service doors.
I have to deafen again.
Which led us to another Walmart. But this one, every customer was John and every staff member was Orange. And then the Johns swarmed us, and you got buried as I tried to help you. But then I woke up. Also a very odd dream. Josh says.
Okay, I'm back again.
Perfect, it's just got to the time.
Is it a chapter
Your line.
switch?
No, it's your line.
Oh, okay.
How is there still so
hold
much
on.
left in this chapter?
Yeah.
I don't remember it being this long.
Yeah, it was!
Emily says. They both sit in silence for a while before Josh asks, do we just go back to bed or stay up?
Nah, I'm still pretty tired, so let's try to sleep. If we don't fall asleep, then we can just have a nice call session.
Emily says, laying down. All right, I'm okay with that. Josh says, laying down with Emily.
Can I do this and chapter 7?
Yeah.
The wall looks on forever. It sees nothing. It feels nothing. It is nothing.
Wait a minute, I'm Carlton.
The wall says. Then the wall realizes it cannot speak. So what is happening? Thus the fabric of the universe gets destroyed after the wall realized he cannot speak.
Chapter 7, Ted becoming Ted Discombobula. Emily wakes up in Josh's arms. She smiles at his sleeping face. The clock reads 7:41 a.m.
Good, he got some rest after the strange night we had last night.
She thinks to herself. As she lays there, John opens Josh's door and notices Emily lying with him. Emily looks shocked, but
Before she can say anything, John shouts, "Mer sleeping!" and then immediately runs back out. Josh shoots awake after John leaves, very confused. "What the hell was that?" Josh asks, rubbing his eyes.
John did another one of his funnies.
Emily said, slightly annoyed that she wasn't able to watch Josh sleep longer. That
That's
seems
only-
kind of weird, I'm
that's
not gonna
only
lie.
slightly weird.
Josh gets out of bed and grabs his phone and notices the time, remembering last night. Those were some pretty odd dreams that we had last night, Josh says, putting his phone in his pocket to watch Emily.
Yeah, they were very strange. Anyway, it's a new day. Let's go get
Go.
some breakfast.
I did not hear half of that sentence. It's just conjunct to that what? It just like got smushed together. But it's fine.
Let's
Emily
try that again.
says, getting out of bed. Josh follows Emily out of his bedroom as they walk downstairs, finding John, Dominic, and Orange laughing together. Jen sits at the dining room table, eating grape nuts. And Roy is sitting in the chair next to the couch, being Roy. "What are you all laughing at?" Josh asks. Dominic points to the TV, which is just static.
What?
Emily asks, not understanding the humor. The laughter continues to echo through the living room as Josh and Emily walked into the kitchen to eat breakfast. Josh grabs a bowl to pour some cereal and Emily stops him.
We've been at this for almost an hour, John.
"Yes, keep going,"
I'll make us some eggs. It's fine.
Emily says, smiling. Josh
forgot about this
smiles
part.
back, putting back his bowl, saying, "Thank you, Emily." She smiles as she begins to cook eggs. The laughter dies down and the TV starts to play an actual show. Josh stands behind Emily as she cooks, watching her. Emily looks over her shoulder at Josh with a smirk before looking back at the eggs she's making. Josh looks over at where Jen was sitting, noticing that she moved. He looks around and notices that Jen moved over to where Roy is sitting. They seem, how do you pronounce that word? They seems to be having
Quietly.
what they seems to be having they seem to be quietly having a conversation, not that Josh would be able to hear anyway, with the cacophony of noise coming from John, Dominic, Roy, and Orange.
Wait,
as
Roy.
they beat up
Wait, what?
Roy too, yo, as they beat each other up over Smash Bros.
Wait, oh my god, it's this?
Yeah. Funny
Screw
word, you. Orange says,
Oh,
"Yes,
man.
John, no, John, shut the funny word up. Bracket, 8D-IU, Bertram."
No, I don't think I will.
Dominic responds,
Understandable. I was waiting
Orange
for you to
says,
speak.
throwing down the controller. Josh shakes his head, giving another look toward Jen and Roy before returning his attention toward Emily. Emily finishes cooking their eggs, putting them on 2 plates, each with both. They both go sit at the dinner table and they begin eating. Buddy the Elf. "Thank you. This is real." No. "Thank you. This is really good," Josh says, complimenting Emily's eating in a seductive tone. Update, John has a headache now. John update, he's going insane and needs oxygen. John update, perhaps. Orange, shut the funny up.
Dominic update, he is feeling pain. Dom down calendar, he cannot speak.
John update, if nobody got me, I know Oren got me. Can I get an amen? John update, no, I do not get you, John. John update, oh, okay. Orange update, this is a thing now.
Dom's sorry day, he has left the PC. Who will leave the
Who will
VC
leave the
next?
VC next? Find out on Saturday at 9:390.com/C/slimesickle. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Well, thank you. Although it's not very hard to make eggs, I appreciate it.
Emily says, smiling. They finish eating eggs and they both go to their bedrooms. As Josh walks upstairs, he thinks to himself, I wonder what Jen and Roy were doing. He walks into his bedroom, turns on his computer, and his mind drifts off. No thoughts, head empty.
Baba
Baba
Booba
Booba, come smirk. Sad face, this is sad.
comes in French. Sperm is.
Sperms. Chapter 8. No, you're doing this one.
Chapter 8. Why the what? Language. This year. What? The year is spring break of 2019. Before the basement was a thing. Don't question
Don't
it.
question it.
And Roy met
Don't
Jen.
question it.
And Roy met Jen on Facebook. Roy saw Jen and said something to himself. Hey, I know.
Hey, I
Oh.
know her from school.
Can that be Roy's voice?
Yes.
He decided to DM Jen, saying,
Hey, I know you from school and just found you on Facebook.
Jen responds in about an hour saying, Oh, hey, Roy, didn't we have science together?
Yes, we do.
Poggers. Jen says they don't talk on Facebook for a while, but they meet up during science class the next time they have school. Jen walks up to Roy and smiles. Hey, Roy, how have you been? Jen asks, sitting down next to him.
I've be.
He responds. They walk for a while before class. They talk for a while before class starts, and they sit next to each other for the rest of class. They continue this for the rest of the year, constantly talking about anything they want. They become close friends by the end of the 8th grade, neither of their friend groups knowing about each other. They talk during all of summer, sure, strengthening their friendship. This friendship continues for years, with Jen and Roy constantly talking to each other. As the years go by, the basement is formed, and Jen and Roy start talking more. By the year 2033, Jen and Roy are in a relationship. No.
No.
The reverse card.
Chapter 9. Curious. Let's say, hypothetically, we're back at the end of chapter 7. And let's say, for example, Josh is half hoping for Emily to barge in again. And let's imagine, just for a moment, that she doesn't. Not for a while, anyway. Let's say, maybe. I'm here for you, my brother. Can you make me a sandwich? Let's say, hypothetically, shut the up. Oh, okay. No, then actually back to the story.
I love it when my body just decides it doesn't want to exist for a little bit.
Yeah, that's
It's
great.
Chapter 10, the beginning of the beginning. At the end of the story. Josh is sitting on the couch downstairs alone. Emily left to get groceries for the basement house, and everyone else is either at work or streaming. He's scrolling through different marketplaces trying to find a gift for Emily. Eventually, he stumbles across a J-Schlatt fursuit. This is it. This is what I've been waiting. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. For her birthday, he thinks to himself. He grabs his shoes, keys, and he walks outside. Opens the car door, turns the keys, and drives off. He arrives at the location, a run-down Party City. Yeah, this is a safe place. Not a problem at all, Josh thinks as he steps out of the car to search for the fursuit. Meanwhile, Emily arrives at the basement house with groceries. She begins to unload the groceries when John comes outside saying,
Philip Banks, Philip Banks, Philip Banks. Oh, I'm her too.
Yep.
What am I supposed to say to this?
Emily asks, grabbing more bags.
Oh, hey, Emily. Didn't realize you were here.
Oh my god, I forgot about this next part. John says, moving to grab more bags.
Yes, I am, and I would... Wait, why did you say that while leaving if you didn't know I was here?
Emily asks, walking away from the trunk.
You're wasting your time, idiot.
John says,
Can I read the line when
oh,
it comes?
absolutely.
I'll just read this up to carries them inside.
Yup.
Okay. Well then, just bring in some more bags, please, and thank you, Emily says, walking inside with a playful smile. John, hold on. John looks back, confused. I have to bring myself to it.
I'll shut up.
Bags. He picks them up and carries them inside.
After they both finish unloading the car and putting away groceries, they both sit down on the couch.exe.
Do you know where Josh is?
Emily asks.
Not a clue.
John responds.
Huh. Well, I guess I'll just sit here and watch TV with you until Josh exists.
Emily and John sit on the couch for what? Sit on the couch.
Sit on the couch for watching TV.
Sit on the couch watching TV, laughing and enjoying time with each other. After a while of this, Josh walks into the door, covered in mud and dirt. Now, while all of this was happening, Josh had to find the fursuit, and he did. It took him about 30 minutes of searching around this red-down party city, but he found it. Found a way to clean the fursuit, and drove back to the basement house. He walks in the door saying, "We snaw, we 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 snaw." Roy turns on the intercom and says,
Binary!
Josh freezes in his tracks and enters a blinding fit of reggae. He begins shouting, grabbing pillows and throwing them across the room, saying, "Phil, you make me angry, Phil.
Phil, you make me angry, Phil!
Josh continues shouting endless nonsense before he looks at John and Emily sitting next to each other, very confused. He anger turned from angy to upsetty spaghetti. He begins grabbing more pillows, throwing those pillows. He flips the coffee table. He punches the chair. Bags! He throws them.
John update, he cough.
After Josh calms down, Emily stands up and says,
Josh, what the ball, blah, blah.
Guys, I'm gonna unmute Josh and them now. I wonder if they
Hello,
have.
can you hear us now?
Yes, I can.
Josh just left.
Oh, sad, unfortunate. How did you guys enjoy the story? Oh, we should probably read the credits first.
We weren't caring. We were just screen sharing our games.
Okay, remute Roy, we gotta do the credits.
Cool. I mean, I feel like Roy could be here, but okay.
No.
Okay.
He wasn't here for the entire thing, so he must not be here
Okay,
for the
I am
credits.
going to go then.
Oh, you're not gonna read the credits with us. Cool.
Even though you wrote them. Okay, can I do it?
Absolutely.
Can I do it? The end. Credit to writers Dominic, John, Roy, Orange, Josh, who was Josh, even though he wasn't. Emily was Emily, even though that's also not true. John, me, was me. Dominic was Dominic. Roy was not Roy. I was not Jen. Orange was not Emily. I was Hagrid. Dominic was not Rayloff. Matrix Man 1 was Will Smith. And Matrix Man 2 was Ben Shapiro. People who kept John and Orange under control. Dominic, John and Orange, John, Orange, the ship, Josh, Emily, also the Titanic, music, Kevin MacLeod, Let's Go, Sex Offender, Philip Banks, Microwave Society, Built Different, Slim Shady, Fesh Pence, Feck Tor, Hotel Trivago, Reggie Filsme, My Cat Just Fell, Cat Scan, Fax Machine, Camera Crew, Cameraman 1, Cameraman 2, written not by Emily, News Drink SMP fan, Dominic, credit sequence, Orange, the other people, Dominic, John, Roy, John update, no! Chatbot that we gave a body, Roy, I will destroy the American economy, just you wait. I'll be there in a minute.
Roy having that voice.
Music that got us through this. Image 3, Men and Men. Eminem's music to be murdered by. Fart with extra reverb. Fart with extra reverb reversed. I am in Missouri. Penis music. Roy. Thanks for nothing.
All right, and time to go to the secret code.
Yes, the secret code. Do we read this too?
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. Ben? I don't know if
No.
we can read all of this, but it's funny.
It's a whole nother 32 pages.
I don't think we will. Let's just say
No.
this is the entirety of the stealing of the Declaration of Independence
From National Treasure.
Yeah, that.
I was about to say National Treasure 3 because of the joke I made on Rat Chat, but
Jeez Louise, Father, that was really loud. Good night. That's it.
anyways, now that we got that over with, I'm gonna go eat dinner.